Hi, myself Devananda Rao, working as Associate Professor in the Department of CSC, MLR Institute of Technology. Today's topic is Shift Reduce Parser or Shift Reduce Parsing. Overview of the presentation, Shift Reduce Parser and the problems will be solved on the Shift Reduce Parsing. Here, Shift Reduce Parsers take input string and builds a parse tree. The Shift Reduce Parsers takes string as input and produce parse tree, that is, we can construct bottom up parser, that is from leaves to we can construct a tree up to starting node, starting from the bottom of the leaves and growing the tree towards the top of the root. That is the function of the shift reduce parser. Here we need two data structures to implement the shift reduce parser. First is stack. Stack is used to store the grammar symbols, whether it is non-terminals or terminals, variables or terminal symbols. And also we need input buffer is required to hold the string, input string to be parsed. This is the structure of the shift reduce parser. Stack is given and tape is given, that is input buffer. Input buffer will contain string W followed by dollar. Dollar indicates end of the string. W is equals to string, like ID plus ID star ID followed by dollar. Bottom of the stack is dollar, that is empty string. Initially we can keep the start symbol onto the stack. The parser works by moving the input symbol onto the stack until handle is found. Whenever handle is found on the stack, we can replace that handle by the corresponding left hand side non-terminal. The parser keeps on repeating this cycle until an error is detected or stack is left with only start symbol and the input buffer becomes empty. When the input buffer becomes empty means the input buffer contains dollar, on top of the stack is start symbol. If this configuration appears, the action is accept, otherwise error. After achieving this configuration, the parser stops or halts. It reports the successful completion of the parsing. Possible actions performed by the shift reduce parser. 4 actions will be performed by the shift reduce parser. Shift action, reduce action, accept action, error action. In shift action, the next symbol is shifted onto the top of the stack. Next symbol means the current symbol on the tape, that is moved onto the stack. Reduce. In a reduce action, the handle appears on the top of the stack is replaced with appropriate non-terminal symbol. If any handle occurs on the top of the stack, we can find corresponding production rule that left hand side non-terminal will be pushed onto the stack by replacing the handle. Next step, accept. In an accept state, in an accept action, the parser reports successful completion of parsing. Error. In this state, in this action, the parser becomes confused and is not able to make any decision. It can either perform shift action or neither perform shift action nor reduce any accept action or reduce action. The problem on shift reduce parser. The given rule is E derives E minus E, E derives E star E, E derives ID. 3 rules are given. The input string is ID minus ID star ID. The input string is ID minus ID star ID. ID minus ID star ID, that input string. Initially the input string is placed onto the input buffer, ID minus ID star ID followed by dollar. This dollar is end of the input buffer, end of the string. Initially the dollar is on the top of the stack. Shift reduce parser perform 4 actions: shift action, reduce actions, accept action, error. First, if the stack is empty, the symbol is there in the input buffer, we can shift the input symbol onto the stack, that is ID is shifted onto the stack. Then we have to check whether this ID is handle or not. Yes, this is ID is a handle because this ID is matches with body of the production E derives ID. So we can reduce this ID to E, so that we can perform reduce action. E derives ID. ID is reduced to E, that is E is replaced by I. ID is reduced to E. Then ID is replaced by E. Now top of the stack is E, current symbol is minus and shift this minus onto the stack. Now top of the stack is minus. Current input symbol is ID. So ID is pushed onto the stack, E minus ID. Now ID is a handle because ID matches with the body of the production. So reduce, E derives ID. ID is reduced to E. The next step, ID is replaced by E. Next, shift star onto the stack. Now top of the stack is star. Next, shift ID onto the stack. Now top of the stack is ID. So ID is a handle, so that I can reduce ID to E. ID to E. Now we have symbols on the stack is E minus E star E. So E star E is a handle, because E star E is a body of the production, matches with that rule, so that reduce E star E to E. This E star E is replaced by E. Now on the top we have symbols E minus E. E minus E is a handle, we can reduce this E minus E to E. So the configuration, what is the accepting configuration? Whenever input buffer is empty, that is $, and top of the stack is start symbol, we can perform accept action. This is shift reduce parser. Thank you.